Dynasty is a word that is often used too quickly, but owning the last 4 championships and 5 of the last 6, and well on the way to yet another crown this season, when applied to Aeronum, Dynasty is all too appropriate. Today, sanctioned by the Absolute Beginner League, from Oulton Park, it's round 6 of 8 on the Formula Neagle Season 13 schedule. And you can see all the action live as it happens here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Happy Easter, and welcome to another GSRC broadcast and countdown to green. Way up in the booth to bring you our bird's eye view is yours truly, Bill Soup Zahn, joined by my longtime ABL mic mate, Adam Young. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is the doctor of pit topology himself, Amjad Yaman, armed with cameras located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. As cyberspace flows into your place over these 15 streamy award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the 45 minutes of simulated Skip Barber racing that will immediately follow as we count down to green. And now, as I reintroduce Adam Young to talk about today's venue, both veteran and new viewer alike should pay attention, because this is one of those rare occasions when Formula Neagle visits a track for the very first time. Adam, what do we need to know about Oulton Park?
Well, I'll tell you, Soup, I mean, me, myself, I've had to look a lot of this stuff up here today because I'm not all too familiar with Oulton Park. But, you know, in my research, I found that, of course, it's set on a former country estate and right near Little Budworth, which is a village out in England, just outside of Terpoli and Treshire. The first race here was Formula 3 cars and motorcycles, and if you look at this track here today, you can definitely see the motorcycle heritage in it. Of course, that was way back in 1953, and Formula 1 even stopped by here in 1961 with a name that you might recognize if you're familiar with Formula 1 history. It was Sir Sterling Moss, driving a 4-wheel drive Formula 1 car to victory here. Here today, though, we're going to be running the 12-turn layout, and that's going to be 2.6 miles or 4.3 kilometers in length. That's the International No Chicanes course for you folks that like to practice these things on iRacing. Now, we're going to go ahead and take a lap around Oulton Park, kind of harkening back to those old days of Formula 1, although it's not a 4-wheel drive Formula 1 car. Let's take the Lotus 79 out for a spin.
All right, we've got Juha Noralampi and the GSRC Lotus 79, so let's do a lap around Oulton Park. Old Hall Corner is deceptive, and you'll want to late apex it, or else you'll push wide on the exit. Coming off the corner, you can use a bit of the AstroTurf, but not a lot. Up to Denton's, this little kink makes the entry to Cascades pretty blind. Knowing how to line up your car will be crucial for a great run through this left-hander. And honestly, a good launch from here will be pretty important to your lap time in general, since it's flat out from here to the shell hairpin. There'll be no lifting around the frighteningly fast island bend. Heavy braking into the hairpin means you can expect to see a few pass attempts. But despite the banking, making moves around the outside rarely pans out. It's another long, fast run after this, so make sure you're confident getting on the gas. We're bypassing the Britain chicane in this layout, hopping up and over the crest where you can really tell how bumpy this track is. Let it drift off to the left and get ready for Knickerbrook. Fling it through here as fast as you dare, but don't clip that inside curb too hard. No time to rest because you're immediately climbing up through Clay Hill and then Water Tower. It'll take some bravery to get the car through Druids properly with its double apex and crested exit. When it goes wrong here, it goes wrong fast. After that, it's down to Lodge, where it's a surprisingly slow corner compared to the rest of the circuit. The track falls away coming off of it, so be careful with the power. From there, straight line deer leap, and if you kept it together, you've now finished a lap around Oulton Park.
A lap around Oulton Park. And now let's take a lap around the point standings with only 3 races remaining. He's won 4 out of 5 races this season. He is the Roland Estonian Bushfink Pinks Aeronum, well on the way to his 5th consecutive championship and 6th out of the last 7. The only driver with a win this Patrick Fliss, but a no-show last round has taken the Slovene machine from first place tie down to 30 32 points back in the points. And unfortunately, so far, Fliss has not shown up for practice here today. Sea-Bottoms Racing's Johan Vanderbilt was second last time out at Zolder. David Burns of Two Stupid Dogs is coming off his first podium. The season's top rookie, Wanderlust Racing's Timo Vascalampi. Best result is fourth. He's done that one twice. Let's go over and take a look at the team championships now. We've talked about it all season long, but the team championship is going to come down to Frederick Neptune, of all people. The Bush Pink driver has chipped in 8 points, and you combine that with what Errol Num has contributed, and that's enough to push Pink up into the lead. Falling from the lead is David Burns and Vincent Green for Two Stupid Dogs. Diogo Francisco and Timo Vascalampi has Wanderlust next. Francisco not here, though, today so far. Sea-Bottom Racing, powered by Michelle Rugenbrink and Johan Vanderbilt, hold station, as does multi-time team champion Mama Jean Racing, powered by Tuan Tran and Bastian Hauser. Okay, Adam, we've talked about the track, gone over the points. Let's go over the series details.
Yeah, this is season 13 for the Absolute Beginners League Formula Neagle series here. And of course, they don't run the series with any drops, so all 8 rounds of this season do count. We're running round 6 here for today. Can't believe there's only 2 more rounds left in season 13 after today. Today's 45 minutes. Setups are open, and we do anticipate, as usual, 1 pit stop out of these guys. And as you've seen, that pit stop can really shake things up. Incident cap here today is about 18, which driving around this Formula Neagle car here, Soup, at least one thing with the incident cap, I don't think we'll have to worry about too much. It's going to be any kind of off tracks playing a big role in that. But still, it is a little bit of a handful here. It likes to slide around.
Qualifying has just started. Nobody put in a lap yet. Our fastest driver in practice, no surprise. Well, it is kind of a surprise. Tuan Tran was able to best Errol Num there at the very end. Tran's practice lap, a 1 minute 41.567. That's compared to a 0.595 from Num, so very close. Adam, what kind of race do you expect here today? Is this usually these skippies are pretty draft sensitive.
Yeah, and I really think here, you know, a lot of these corners are pretty fast and sweeping for this car. I really think draft is going to play a role. But, you know, we might end up with some guys up front that we really haven't seen up front too much in that lead pack. I mean, we do got some, you know, halfway decent-sized names missing from the field right now. And that, like I was mentioned, that very well could play a role in who we see up front this afternoon. But Euro Num, as usual, will be the person to watch out for.
There's a new name we're looking at right there, Daryl Bland. The Absolute Beginners, always welcoming to new members to come in, even at its mid-season. They pride themselves of being very friendly and helping drivers learn the trade. Josh Brain, we look at now, still yet to put in a qualifying time. Don't be fooled, though, by the name Absolute Beginners. There is some big-time talent up front, although, as Adam mentioned, a few missing, some big names that are not here. We talked about Patrick Fliss, the Slovene machine, but also Pierce Gaki. Oh, no, Pierce has shown up. There we go. Pierce is here. Oh, Francisco Diego Francisco not here. That's one that's very... He's been running up front. Vincent Bream, Two Stupid Dogs.
Yeah, you know, Vincent Bream not here. You mentioned Diego. Diego, he doesn't show up on the driver's standings part, but he's been very influential in some of these races this year. And I guess Vincent Bream, he must have just got here because he wasn't here a few minutes ago.
Yeah, we keep getting confused with here or not. He's definitely here as we have him on screen right now. So all the friends and family, the Vincent Bream fan club, can rest easy. He is here. There's a man who never misses, the Roland Estonian, well on his way, as we talked about, to another championship. And he puts in a qualifying time, and it looks like it's going to be good enough to sit at the top. He's just ahead of David Burns as the times start to roll in. Tuan Tran, who was fastest in practice, not put one in. Here's a driver to watch. Car number 13, currently 5th fastest, Just Junk, a name we're getting used to. He was really quick out there during practice. Looks like he's going to be competitive.
Well, you know, practice speed was a 41.798, and you look at he's only 0.2 off of Euro Num. In fact, just kind of eyeballing things here, I think him and Enzo Canta driving the 77 car here today, I think they were the two closest to him.
Enzo Canta, the Italian driver that we're getting to know very well here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. The fans of our channel see him racing a lot as we look on board off the left front wing of his Skippy. We first met Enzo when he was racing in the sports car, the SCCS. It was a multi-class racing series with the Skippy and the SRFs and the MX-5s. Enzo was very fast there. Then we've seen him cross over. I believe he goes over and races, I think, in the Lotus 49 sometimes. And now we see him here today in another open-wheeled car.
Well, real quick, Soup, Tuan Tran, I made a mistake a minute ago. Tuan Tran was actually the closest to Euro Num, and I think he's coming around here to take on his flying lap. I'm going to be very interested to see what he does as far as the time. He was actually only a couple hundredths off of Euro Num in practice. Let's see what he can do in clean air here. Maybe he could put a campaign together to maybe take that pole away.
Yeah, he was awfully behind him until the very end, where that surprised me too. He actually ended up being the fastest of all the practicers, not just a few, by a couple hundredths of a second. But let's see what he does. He's working his way right now through Druids. So let's get a chance to see the track here a little bit. This is the right-hander. Now I'll have one more right-hander. He comes up into Lodge Corner. This is the final corner, corner 11. And if Tuan's kept the car clean, which he usually does, he should get a time. Let's see how he does. He comes off of that corner, pushes the envelope a little bit. I think he's going to be okay. And his time puts him only in 6th.
Now, he might get another shot at it here, but we'll probably check in on him again here in a minute or so, see how he's doing.
Like we talked about, this is going to be such a draft-oriented track. As long as you can stay inside the top 10, I think that's probably where the train is going to go back to. We've seen this a lot, Adam, is how long is the train and how long does it stay long?
Yeah, it's one of those ones that the if you can qualify in the top 10, you've got a chance. It's for the pole, it's mostly just bragging rights, but I know how these guys love their bragging rights too.
What we haven't done is taken a look at what the English weather is like. Maybe we can do that now, bring it up on the screen. Adam, what's it look like?
Well, right now we're looking at a temperature about 72 degrees. That's going to put that track temperature underneath sunny skies at 99. It's part of the reason why these cars are kind of sliding away out there right now. Winds out of the southwest at 9 miles an hour.
I guess our friend here at GSRC, Jake Sperry, would be happy with that weather right now. 72 degrees and a happy Easter to everybody. It's April Fool's Day. Don't know if that is universal around the globe. If it is, don't believe anything that Adam tells you today.
Well, yeah. Yeah, well, he goes being the whole meteorologist thing, and then on top of April Fool's Day.
Gotta wonder if anybody's ever proposed on April Fool's Day. Seemed like
I'm sure that would be dirty, though. That would be dirty. I did see a good one earlier on that a couple of people bought into about the FIA trying to adopt the halo for the LMP 1 and 2 cars next year. That bought a lot of people in.
I was going to announce that iRacing has said that the Delta Wing is coming to iRacing, but that wouldn't work either.
You know, I would be okay with that. I would.
Yeah, I would too. Looking at Rob Adams. Comes across, he's actually in 14th now. Hey, let's go back in and check in on Tuan Tran. We talked about it. Look what he did. Adam, you called it. He got that one lap in. He now is in 2nd.
Well, he's just finally starting to show some of that speed. You know, we know that he has it, but that time that he was trying to fight was going to be against Euro Num, and Euro Num just laid down a 41.468. Yeah, he's just absolutely flying around this place.
Tuan Tran, the most recent active driver to have a championship. He got that way back in Season 6, believe it or not. That was what we like to call BN time, before Num time. Num came in Season 7 and has been dominating since then. The only driver to get a championship since Num's been here is Johan Hallberg, sorry. It's been a while since I've seen Johan. He picked one up in Season 8. Other than that, it's all been Errol Num. Looks like qualifying is just about done. Tuan Tran brings it in on that lap. He did not like it. Let's go ahead now. I think we can go to the grid as we have a standing start. Only 28 drivers. Front row, Errol Num and Tuan Tran, of course. Enzo Canta, the Italian driver. Watch out for him. He's always fast. Pierce Cocky flanking him. Row 3, David Third Degree Burns. Timo Vascalampi, the fast rookie. Row 4, Johan Vanderbilt, the fan belt. Neil Bamber. And then 9th and 10th goes to Jus Junk and Oliver Elliott. Adam?
Yeah, starting in 11th, find Bastian Hillsman out there. Alongside him is going to be Vincent Mim, Floris Bashar, and Rob Adams are going to make up row 7. Josh Brain and Henry Camaro. We'll see what he could do here today in row 8. Row 9 is going to be Luca Furlick and Nika Roman. Frederick Neptune and Michelle Rugenbrink are going to make up row 10.
Fabian Youngbluth and Christian Meese. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me correct myself there. Well, let's start actually up there at their top. It is Fabian Youngbluth in the blackjack position and Christian Meese in 21st. Edgar Sanchinelli, Darren Bland fill up the next row. Marcelo Pajan, hey, we know him from the MX5 World Tour, coming over here to race a car without fenders. Miguel Hoflandaisen in the 26th spot. 27th is Darren Kuhn. And Lee Bradley. Don't know if Lee's actually... Yeah, Lee's out there. 28 drivers. 28 driver names. 24 were able to put in qualifying times. The slowest being Daryl Bland. But they all sit behind Errol Num. Round 6 of 8, Season 13, the Absolute Beginners Formula Neagle. GSRC has been here for many a season. We are glad to be back to finish out one more. This and 2 more races to go. We wait for the purple and black attack of Tuan Tran to take the grid. You can see that empty slot there, and there it comes in. They're all out there. Tuan wanted to make sure that the commentators had plenty of time to get through all 28 names. We've done it, Tuan. Thank you very much. Now we wait for the engines to start to harmonize. You know what to do.
Oh, somebody jumps to start back there. 369 car. Oliver Elliott.
Oliver Elliott, a rookie. Well, that's how you learn. Gather up the chickens. Take cover behind the cows, because the horses are out of the barn. One was out a little early. And Errol Num leads the stampede down into the first corner of the right-hander. Tuan Tran tucks into second. The Italian Enzo Canta behind him. Pierce Shortfield Cocky in fourth. Fifth is David Third Degree Burns. Single file. A little battle for 6 back there, Adam. Vascalampi mixing it up with Vanderbilt.
We'll see here. We got a couple of long straights that I think we'll start to see plenty of side-by-side. In fact, Tuan Tran already trying to make a play on Euro Num here.
Now, Num will be aggressive early. He'll want to hang on to the lead. He'll want to see how fast he can go. He'll put in some hot laps and see if he can thin the train a little bit. If you can't thin the train, then look for him to drop back in the pack. Num, Tran, Canta, Cocky, Burns, Vascalampi, Vanderbilt, Bamber, Junk, and Hausman, your top 10.
And here comes Tuan Tran. He's got good position on the inside here as they come up on the right-hander. He's going to take the lead.
Now, the driver that these guys do not know is Enzo Canta, unless they've been watching GSRC. This is Canta's first race here in the Absolute Beginners. Canta, a very, boy, how can I put this politely, a very confident driver. Look for him, if he sees an opening, look for him to jump upon it. Right now, Canta races in third position. The train goes all the way back. I don't even see a break, Adam. The train goes all the way back. It just keeps going.
Yeah, and on top of that, all 26 cars are still in this field. Oliver Elliott probably taking his stop and go here for that jump start. Imagine he's not going to be in there for too long as he had his options turned off.
Well, that is
rear wing looks a little bit bent up.
That is brutal. That's the only way not to be on this lead train, is to jump the start, as he has to do a stop and go. We've talked about your top 10. Let me quickly just look back. Looks like a little break after top 10, actually. Let's go to Bastian Hausman in 10th. Now the train separates, as there's about 1.2 seconds back to this next group of Floris Bashar, Vincent Brame, and Rob Adams. Right on board with Hausman. Looking up at the car in front of him, that is Junk.
Euronum going to try to take the lead back here from Tuan Tran, and almost a copy of how he lost the lead 2 laps ago.
Can't there.
Tuan Tran make contact. Tuan Tran somehow keeps it going back straight, but he is lost. He is down on speed after that.
Oh, his suspension is hurt. Kanta got into his right rear. The car was going to spin. Then as Kanta went by, he got into his right front, straightened it back out, but I think it's damaged the car.
Yeah, that car is definitely not driving straight now, and being off-road there where it's really bumpy is not helping him at all.
We're going to look at it from his teammate's point of view. Oh, I'm sorry, no, from Johan van der Velde. Now, van der Velde was in the popcorn position, and boy, he splits right through.
Just watching Tuan Tran's journey now back to the pits, and finally he's getting there. He cannot be happy about that, especially that being a guy that's his first start here. He's being up front. It's not a good way to make a name for yourself in the series.
Yeah, I tried to phrase it as politically correct as I could, but Kanta, he saw that opportunity and he went for it, and that's just not the unwritten rule that everyone knows here in the Absolute Beginner. Now the problem is for the rest of the guys, because of that, is whether Pierce Cockey can stay onto the back of Kanta, who's trying to stay onto the back of Num now.
We'll see, but that incident definitely broke up that front pack quite a bit. I mean, now you talk about 2 cars and then another 2 cars, and then that's when the main pack starts to get going again. Is see a yellow and green car back there trying to make a move and thinks back of it, slips back in line. Really, the best thing that those guys can do from about 5th on back is try to run single file right now and try to gain some ground back on those leaders.
I want to go back and focus on 18th position right now, and it's really not 18th. It's the driver back in 19th. Remember, there's a team championship and a driver's championship, and I talked about it in the pre-race. Frederick Neptune, whatever he can chip in, the points go down to 20 right now. He's in the points. Whatever he can chip into Aero Num, that's going to help Bush Pink win the team championship. He races back in 19th right now, a couple spots inside the points. Look who else is back there in 17th, Adam. Mikkel Hofladezen. Usually we'll see him farther up than that.
Well, he's kind of adopted a strategy, it seems like, the last couple of rounds of not putting in a qualifying lap and starting in the back of the field and just kind of avoiding some of the early mayhem. The problem is it really only works out for you when there's some mayhem, and the start of this race was relatively clean for a lot of guys. I mean, a couple of guys have some minor issues, but for the most part, a lot of guys got away clean.
All right, let's go back up front. As we look at the string coming at you, we can update you that Num and Kanta are trying to pull away. The gap, 0.8 of a second. Cockey doing his very best to stay there. He goes a little bit wide coming out of Shell Oil corner. That's corner number 5. It's kind of a hairpin. He's going to lose momentum. I think he's going to actually lose a spot. This is the fan belt. Johan van der Velde ducking onto the inside as they head down into Knickerbocker Brook, or as that translates into American, it's not Knickerbocker Brook. It's Knickerbrook. I call it Underwear Brook.
Sometimes, Soup, I just don't even ask.
It's going to be hard for me not to say Knickerbocker. Go ahead, Al.
Now, you're watching the gap start to widen even more between Euronum and Enzo Kanta. I want to go back up front here just real quick. Do not think that Euronum did not see what happened behind him. And I think that's going to change Euronum's strategy a little bit, because he doesn't want to put his race in jeopardy. He knows he has the pace to try to separate himself out a little bit. I think we're going to see a different race out of Euronum this time around. I think he's going to try to put the pedal to the metal and get going as fast and as far as he can, instead of trying to lag back and save fuel. So it might be a slightly different race for Euronum. In fact, you see him pushing it right there, running that thing well off into the grass.
Yeah, what Adam was actually saying was he knows what happened, and he knows who was involved in it, and one of the drivers involved in it was Enzo Kanta. So yeah, he might race a little differently if he had Tuan Tran chasing him than if he has Enzo Kanta chasing him right now. And I think, Adam, he's a second. He's beginning to stretch it out.
Yeah, I mean he widened that gap up by 4/10 that last time by, and you know, I was getting ready to say right before that contact, it's like we might be setting ourselves up for another classic Hero Num versus Tuan Tran battle, but that's not going to be in the cards here today. As now we look a little bit back, looking at Piers Cocky, Johan Vanderbilt, and those guys back there, as Johan Vanderbilt trying to make a move here, I think.
Yeah, these guys are racing and dancing both. Boy, Vanderbilt did not get the run I think he wanted there to do a slingshot. They'd like to pick up a couple car lengths every time they make that pass, see if they can run down Canta. Maybe when they get to Canta, then maybe they can chase down Num. Great battle going on here for third. Also in the mix now, that's Vascalampi and Neil Bamber with a good race from him up into 6. He's got to be happy with that.
Qualified in the top 10. Oh, somebody's smoking.
Yeah,
Euro Num, I think Euro Num just blew an engine. Euro Num is smoking. He pushed it too hard.
That was really interesting. We could actually see the smoke drifting back into the battle we were looking at, and he takes it into the pits. We can't hear. Is it on the upshift? Okay. It sounds good right now.
It was on the downshift. I just went back and saw it. Definitely on the downshift.
Downshift into the corner. Sorry, it cut away on us there for a second. We'll try it one more time. We'll see if we can stick with it. There. You can see the smoke in the mirror. Well, hello, Enzo Canta. You are now the leader. Tuan Tran, Aero Num, your top row out of the race. Canta's lead 1.3 seconds. Now the dance going on for third. And as they swap again, this is Vanderbilt and Cocky making the shift. Now, for second, I apologize. One thing usually talk about is Canta, he'll be a rookie to the season. He's got to get used to making pit stops and all, but he's very, very familiar with this Skippy. We've seen him race several times, and like I talked about in that series that was sponsored, the Sports Car Challenge Association. But I got that one wrong again, but you get the idea. Adam, look at this battle for second. This is Vanderbilt, Cocky, Vascalampi, Bamber, Burns, Yonk.
I'm gonna maintain my belief that the best thing that these guys can do right now is try to run a little bit more single file than starting to try to fight each other, because now Enzo Canta is out there without a real draft partner, you know, and they have a good chance of catching him here. If was that Johan Vanderbilt? Johan Vanderbilt with a hospital wobble somehow pulls it back in, but Piers Cocky is going to be able to get alongside him here. That was almost bad. What a great piece of driving by Johan Vanderbilt.
We'll look at the fan belt with a hospital wobble. I like that phrase. That was nice.
He saw that nose going right there in the entry of the corner, pointed about a 45-degree angle, and somehow he was able to pull it back to being straight. And only manages to lose one position. But I'm sure that Pack's time lost to Enzo Canta will be more than just the scale of one position on the track.
Actually, about 0.4 of a second. They had nipped it down to just under a second. Got it down to 0.9. Now it's up to 1.3. Let's stay on this one here for a second again. This is now Cocky. Cocky was our third fastest qualifier. Let me correct myself. Fourth fastest qualifier.
Well, somebody back there, was it Joost Junk, just got sideways?
Yep. Looked like he was in it with Burns. Yeah, it was Junk who put the car on the apron there, on the over the rumble strips, got the car a little bit sideways. He's okay though. All right, so here's what's up. Canta all by himself, then 7 cars chasing. Let's go back and look at the guys that are trying a little farther back. Vincent Bream all by himself in 9th. Let's go back to 11th position. This is Mikael Hoflades, and we talked about him. He's racing there with Floris Bashar. He was this off in the grass. Now he's side by side with Rob Adams.
How about that, though? I mean, yeah, he kind of got a little bit of an incident, but, he started this race in 26, folks. He is definitely our hard charger here today. I mean, he is just moving through this field piece by piece right now.
Yes, there is a great battle as we ride on board with Ron Adams. He's in the mix of this another train. I'll give you who it is. It all starts in 10th position with Flores Bashar. He's being attacked by Mikkel Hofladaisen right now. They go side by side. Rob Adams behind them. Kamara, Furlick, Brain, and Nico Roman. Yikes. And I think he's going to clear. That's Hofladaisen on the outside. Make it stick with momentum. He gets it done. It's going to cost Bashir a little momentum as well, and Rob Adams tries to get in there. Almost getting into the back of Kamara was Luca Furlick. Woo-hoo-hoo.
And just look at that pack of cars. Where are they now? About 10 cars deep, and they are going after it, man.
The name that you do not hear back there is Frederick Neptune. He's back to 20th, still racing in the points. But his partner, Errol Num, will score no points for today. So it's going to be a rough day for Bush Fink Pink. Good news for all the other teams that are chasing them. Okay, up front. Enzo Canta, the lead was what's 1.3 second? Adam, doesn't look like 1.3 now.
No, they did exactly what they needed to do. They stopped really fighting each other after Johan Vanderbilt's a little wobble a little while ago, and really were able to climb back onto the back of Enzo Canta. So we're going to have a battle of the lead shaping up here before too long between Enzo Canta, Piers Cocky, and Johan Vanderbilt. And, of course, Timo Vascalampi. I mean, we cannot forget him and Neil Bamber back there as well. And we know David Burns knows how to win one of these races, too.
Here comes Cocky with momentum. Canta took his half right out of the middle. Cocky's going to have to wait. Vanderbilt, let's go ahead and stay on the lead for a while.
Now, I'm going to go into one of these if I were these guys moments. If I were these guys, I would go in right now. I would pull a Euro Num and go in at the beginning of the pit window. And the reason being is that you've got the pace right now to be faster than Enzo Canta. And it's going to be easier. In fact, I think we got a couple guys doing just that. Coming in, I think Johan Vanderbilt was one of them, and I want to say Neil Bamber was back there as well.
David Burns.
Okay, so David, don't short fill, buddy. So that's a good strategy, I think. Try to get him on the track, on the pit stops here, because with him being a rookie and everything, we know he's familiar with these Skip Barber cars, but at the same time, he doesn't usually run these length of races. So he could still make a mistake on pit road or something like that, too.
Vanderbilt and Burns, not a bad combination. I would imagine Vanderbilt was hoping to have some friends come with him. Having David Burns come in there is really not the worst you could have from, although the bad news is Vanderbilt's come out about a second ahead. As we look at this on screen right now, this is Bamber. He's in a battle. That's
here comes Piers Cocky again on the lead. Oh, and Enzo is not getting him any room at all.
There you can see both battles coming at you. That's Canta and Cocky together, and Bamber and Hausman. There we go. And Canta's still able, or Cocky gets the lead. Canta now drops back into second.
And he just big red. Here's Cocky's out.
Oh, Canta got into the back of him.
And that also Timo Vascalampi was the other car involved in that. Could not get it woed up in time to miss him.
The hit list is growing in length from Enzo Canta. Boy, that was a good shot back into the gearbox. Boink. All right, we come back live, and Hausman was making a pass attempt. He ends up on the grass. In fact, he actually made the pass. And that's Hausman now in it with Junk. Now, this is after Hausman went into the corner. He made the pass, but went in too hot, got off on the grass, came back off, and got into it with that yellow car of Just Junk. I think this is all good news for the guys who pulled the fast one that got out of all of this is Vanderbilt and Burns. Let's go back up to the lead as there's a swap there now. This is Kanta, and who's making the move? This is Neil Bamber! Bambi going to the lead! And he gets it!
You know how long you've been wanting to say Bambi goes to the lead.
I never thought I'd get the chance. Here we go. Neil Bamber having the race of his ABL career. He's got to be a little concerned. Enzo behind him. Enzo got into it with Tran, got into it with Pierce Cocky. Now just about a nose away. What I want to do is see if I can do this ability, give you a time from well, it would be Kanta, the last time he came around, to Vanderbilt, 25 seconds. And look what's up. Burns, now let's go back to 14th position. Burns has got around Vanderbilt. I think, Adam Young, I think you've called it. Look for these guys to maybe be the lead when Bamber and Kanta decide to come in.
Well, I mean, you think about how much time Enzo lost with the contact and everything else there. I mean, that was at least a half second, if not more, that he lost out of that. And follow back, what was Neil Bamber was kind of a fifth, almost a second and a half back when all that started, and he's sitting there in the lead right now.
Neil Bamber out there, out in front. We take this opportunity here. Let's go ahead and see if we can talk to Errol Num quickly. Bring him in with us. Errol, it's Soup. Downshift, it blew up on you?
Yeah, never happened there before, especially going fourth to third, so it was very weird. It was too perfect race.
Yeah, you had gotten away from all the nonsense behind. Looked like it was yours, and then well, that's why you got a bit of a cushion. So I think you're still going to be okay, but you're going to have to work a little harder these last two races.
Yeah, I have very big cushion. So it just looks like it's Vanderbilt and Burns is going to win. So they are my closest enemies. So in the championships right now. So, but I think I will still have over 10-point lead.
Well, sorry to hear you that you're out, but we'll see you next time. In fact, here comes, why don't you stick around with us for a minute, Errol, because here comes Neil Bamber coming in. So your take is that you think Vanderbilt and these guys who came in, Vanderbilt and Burns, are going to probably get up to the lead, you would think.
Yeah, that's my prediction right now.
We'll keep you here, and we'll see if you get that one right. Let's see, Bamber is in. Boy, you're absolutely right. Bamber's sitting in a stall right now. And our leaders are coming. Let's see if we can find them. Oh, they're long gone, it looks like. Yep.
You know, and for what it's worth, we haven't checked in on him here in a little bit. But Johan Vanderbilt, David Burns actually got around Johan de Vanderbilt there for a little bit ago, Soup. I know you were a little bit worried about that second or so gap coming out of the pit stops. They've definitely resolved that now, running nose to tail.
Well, Errol called it. Thanks for sitting in with us, giving us some information, and we'll see you the next two races, buddy.
Yeah, thanks. See ya.
Errol Num. He knew what was going on. I think Errol, if anybody knows how to do that, what my dad called early peel, late reveal, it's Errol Num. He's notorious for getting out of the way. So, Kanta still out in front. Bream, Junk, and Hausman still yet to pit. And Burns makes the move. Now, Burns is up to 11. He's ahead of Vanderbilt. These guys have about 4.3 seconds over Neil Bamber. Oh, it was fun while it lasted, Bambi. .22 laps, 22 minutes to go. Now, from the back of the lead train, Hausman comes in. Vanderbilt right now out of that final corner. Go ahead, Adam.
Soup, I went back and looked at the lap times, and on that contact there, Enzo actually lost almost 2 seconds on that with that contact, and that's going to feel like an eternity, I think, at the end of this race whenever he comes in for the pit cycle here.
Hausman comes out. Bamber gets by. Bamber remains in third. Bastian Hausman cycles out, well, 13th overall. We're going to call it 4th, though, of all the cars who've pitted. The top 8 cars still yet to pit. Josh Brain, Luca Freilich, Nico Roman, Flores Bashar, Rob Adams, and then the 3 guys up front, Jus Jonk, Vincent Bream, Enzo Cantor. The battle right now for what will be the lead is between David Burns in 10th and Johan Vanderbilt in 11th. Looking at that battle right now as they race Seattle Bathtubs. And there is Nico Roman takes over 5th position. Nico Roman gets around Flores Bashar, Luca Freilich, and Josh Brain. "20 minutes of racing to go." You may, if you're new to this series, you may wonder where the pit window is. It's a pretty big pit window. Don't be surprised if you don't see Enzo Cantor race. He could probably go maybe 5 or 6 minutes before the checkered flag.
You know, and that's going to be his one saving grace, I think, with everything, is that he's not going to have to take as much fuel as these guys. And, you know, the fuel in these cars, it goes in pretty slow. So that'll be something to be watching out for. But even then, I'm thinking that the time lost here is going to be too much to overcome. I really think the battle for the lead right now is actually between Johan Vanderbilt and David Burns.
For sure in 6th, we're looking there at, this is the battle, what Adam is calling for the lead, and I think it is too as well, as also does Aero Num. You know, Adam, we talk about how sharp Aero is, but really he has such a understanding. He is really a chess player, a chess master. I mean, he really understands what's going on, and strategy-wise, not only himself, but what the other drivers is doing too.
Well, and that's why he always does the early, you know, whatever you call it, the early reveal thing, or early stop, late reveal.
Early feel, late reveal.
There you go. There you go. It's because he has this all figured out. That's one reason too. When after we had the first contact there with Tuan Tran, I was thinking that was going to be, he was going to do the opposite of that strategy, because in a chess game, that's kind of what I would do at that point, is try to do something a little bit different and throw everybody else off guard and run away with it. But now that's going to be that's obviously not in the cards now because of the blown engine and everything, but we're going to see Johan Vanderbilt and Dave Burns pulling a Euro Num-like strategy, I think, to come away with this thing.
We look at the battle for 5th between those 4 cars. Go ahead.
And something else to watch out for here too. Enzo, he might have that front wing damage. Usually we don't focus too much on the front wings in these cars because they go tweaked, they go missing, and everything else. And usually it doesn't affect the cars too much. But I think it's affecting Enzo. Look at his last lap times there on your screen. He lost a second that last lap to Vincent Brim. He is falling back into the clutches right now, Vincent Brim and Jus Jonk. They're going to be there here in a matter of a lap or two.
Well, remember, that car not only got into it with Pierce Cockey as he nosed into his gearbox, but he also had made contact with Tuan Tran earlier that was hard enough to take Tran's car out. Now, again, I want to emphasize this point. We only get to see stuff once. Sometimes when you look at replays a second time, you get a different opinion of it. So they'll look at it, and they're very friendly in the Absolute Beginner League, and they'll all get together and maybe figure out how things work here. Oh, Freilich, let's go to this battle for a 5th position. They are side by Freilich. This got loose. And here comes Flores Bashar into Druids. He'll take this over. These guys, I think, are going to sort out somewhere back about, well, maybe inside the top 10. Well, maybe 12th position. Right now, 19 cars on the lead lap. Some big names that are out. Timo Vascalampi is out. Pierce Cocky, Juan Tran, and the biggest name of all, Errol Num. Enzo Canta, that lead, 1.4 seconds. How about the interval back to Johan van der Velde? Remember when I mentioned it? It was 25 seconds back to, well, it'll be David Burns now. It's now 20 seconds back to Burns and van der Velde.
Yeah, but just look at those lap times that they're running compared to your leaders right now. Those are pretty good and fast.
Yep, they're coming. In fact, they have actually, Neil Bamber, who was about 4 seconds back out of the pit stop, is now 6.5 seconds back, racing in 12th, third of all the cars who've stopped. That'll be the fun part to see. Bamber and Hausman. Bamber got out in front of Hausman. It'll be interesting to see how these guys like Canta and then Junk and Bream cycle out in relationship to Bamber and Hausman. I think Bamber and Hausman are probably going to get them. Hofladezen, we go back to 14th position. He's made his stop. He is 5th best of all the cars who've pitted. He's ahead of Darren Bland.
I think he's Enzo Canta's making his stop now, and coming in with him is going to be Joost Junk, excuse me, Vincent Brem. But yeah, going back to Mikael Hofladezen, I think he's going to give himself a solid top 10 here today with that strategy that he pulled.
Burns is already out of the final corner. He's bringing van der Velde with him. I think they're actually going to go by Canta even before Canta gets in the box. Canta in the box now. There they go. Canta's rolling. Okay. Where is Bamber? Canta is... There goes Neil. Neil's going to get him. And I think Canta's going to come out ahead of Hausman. He does. Well, that's pretty much how they were. Remember, it was Bamber and Canta racing for the lead before the stops. So they come out together. The only problem is they are 6.7 seconds behind Burns and van der Velde.
It's worth noting that both Piers Cocky and Tuan Tran have both made their way back onto the racetrack, trying to pick off some spots and maybe try to get back into the points.
Well, Tran racing in 21st position right now. They pay down to 20th, so yeah. Cocky is actually in a 22nd, I guess. So Tran's ahead of him. In fact, they're on the track next to each other. Are they on the same lap? They are indeed. They race for 21st. That is funny.
Well, and I think is Oliver Elliott still out there? We know Timo is gone, so that should be well. That might have been the next spot that they hit. Is Oliver Elliott still turning laps? Oliver Elliott is still out there, so that they got a couple laps separating themselves and him, and he's in 20th. So they're going to have to hope somebody else has a problem.
Our leader is in, and that was Joost Junk, so he's going to surrender it. How about we go ahead and, as Junk trying to find his spot, how about we put the camera on Luca Furlick? I believe he is our leader right now. Our timing and scoring might stay second because I think somebody just took a tow. But Luca is indeed the leader by 6.7 seconds over Burns and van der Velde. I say it all the time, but it's not in this build, but Furlick needs Godzilla to come and stomp all over this track and let the race be called. We've gone halfway.
Hashtag Godzilla confirmed.
Oh, my goodness. Can he race for another 12 minutes? Look at keep it out until it sputters, baby. He is the last car to pit. Everybody else has come in.
You know, of course, Lucas started this race himself in 17th position. So, you know, overall, I mean, we know he has to still come in and everything else, but still a good day for him.
We talked about Hofladezen. Well, he's up to 9th, and that's with Furlick still out there, so that may even be an 8th, so that's a real good run. Remember, he was so far back. Hofladays, in fact, we can go to 9th position. Look where he's sorted out. He's back. He's ahead of Yus Young, who was just leading the race, so he's in there. Rob Adams in that mix.
All right, Luca Furlick is in, so that should complete the pit cycle here. We'll see where everybody officially shakes out.
Canta goes by. That's for 3rd position. Oh, that's Furlick. It's there somewhere. You went a little. Oh, careful! You're going to get disqualified backing up too far, looking for your box. Up. Oh. Sometimes you got to go around again. Lesson learned for Luca Furlick. Wonder how close he was to his box. It was maybe just the next box. He just could have got another 6 feet. He would have been where he wanted to go. All right, so here's how this sorted out. Our leaders now, with 11 minutes of racing to go, it's Johan Vandervelde and David Burns. Don't expect anything to happen between those guys. They're going to bring this thing home, 1st or 2nd between one of them. Those guys are veterans. There's going to be no issue between them. Racing all by himself in 3rd is Enzo Canta, but look back at 4th position. These guys, not only this is Hausman, just got around Bamber, but both of these guys, Hausman and Bamber, like you talked about, Adam, Canta's car is not fast. They're coming.
Well, not only that, you know, particularly Bastian Hausman, he's having to kind of hold the flag right now for Mama Jean Racing with the Tuan Tran's problems earlier on, so you want to try to get as good of a finish as he can get here.
Oh, speaking of Tuan Tran, unfortunately, he's back in the pit box. Don't know what happened. Looks like his race is done. He was trying to score some points. How's Pierce Cockey doing? Cockey's in 21st, going around a lapped car. Out of the points right now. Pierce has to get up to... Well, wait a minute. He's got to get up to Oliver Elliott. Oh, but there's 2 laps difference there. Okay, he's going to need somebody to have a little bit of trouble.
I went back and I found what happened to Tuan Tran, and I think he realized that maybe he wasn't going to get any more spots and just decided to have some fun with it and use one of the many jumps that they have around Oulton Park. I would give the half rotation he did in the air a 4, but unfortunately we weren't able to see the landing.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, the battle up front continues, and I use battle loosely. These guys are just putting in the time right now, just getting to the last lap. Adam, let's go ahead to the last lap. Let's put you inside the cockpit of one of these cars. Coming across the start-finish line, getting the white flag. You want to be in front? You want to be in second?
You know, with what we've seen here today, I think I want to be in front. I think I can control the action a little bit better, which, you know, most other tracks, I think I'd want to be in second. But today, I think I'd want to be in the front.
Let's stay with these guys as they come. These are the leaders. Let's watch them as they come. This is the final corner, and we'll get an idea of how much run there is between that final corner and the start-finish line. And boy, getting really loose is Vandervelde. Now he's coming down the track, heading towards the start-finish. I'm not sure he's going to get there first, as here comes Green, or Burns. And there it is right there.
I do want to throw out there that the Skip Barber cars, they are fun on dirt tracks, but I only see black asphalt out there right now. Just saying.
Yeah, he had that car looking for the cushion, I think. Behind them, Canta is continuing to drop back to Hausman and Bamber. So you got a 2-car battle for the lead. You got a 3-car battle for 3rd. Vincent Brame all by himself in 6th position. It's going to be a good day for 2 stupid dogs, as right now they currently race 2nd and 6th. Then right behind him at the top of your screen, you saw this 3-car battle. This is Rob Adams, Yus Junk, and Mikkel Hofladazen. 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Go back to your previous point about two stupid dogs. Don't forget, they came into this race only 7 points behind Team Bushfink Pink. So they're going to have themselves a heck of a points day with their problems. Because Frederick Neptune, he's only going to score a few points. I mean, he's running in 15th right now. So they could come out of this race with a pretty sizable lead between themselves and Bushfink Racing Pink, because Wanderlust, well, Francisco isn't here and Vascalampi's out.
Right. That's what's such an interesting dynamic in the team race, because you have Num, who scores big points, and then you have Neptune, who just chips in a little bit, and that equals what Burns and Bream do, as they both chip in normal amounts each race. It's really fun, but without you made the point, without Num's big contribution, that's going to be tough for Bushfink.
Yeah, but also, I guess since we're talking about the points here real quick, C-Bottom Racing with Rugenbrink and Vanderbilt, they're going to have themselves a halfway decent points day too, as long as everything stays the way it is now, with Vanderbilt in second and Rugenbrink in 10th.
As we're looking at our two leaders, and again, what the mistake, not really a mistake. Well, it was a mistake, I guess, from Errol Num. What that does is, that puts him in jeopardy now. If he has another one of those, his championship's going to slip away.
Hey, Enzo Canta has been caught by Bastian Hausman.
Boy, but look at Neil Bamber was not able to stay with Hausman. Hausman out there in that purple and black attack of Mama Jean Racing, working on Enzo Canta, the privateer. There's already a little purple and black paint on Canta's car, so here comes Hausman. Canta holding a straight line down the middle. Hausman with the momentum. Down into Underwear Brook, and he makes the pass into 7th.
New nickname for that corner that will forever be logged into GSRC's vernacular.
Now into Druids, and they continue. Now we look up front here. This is Vanderbilt and Burns.
Man, no props from either one of you on the worst use of the word vernacular. Come on.
Yeah. We're teasing our co-commentator here. Now, viewers may be wondering why we aren't focusing a lot on the leaders, and with 5 minutes to go, we are about to. But really, what's going on? Adam and I have done enough of these, and these guys are veterans. Anything that happens before about now really didn't matter. Now, this is where it starts to come into play.
Yeah, I think Canta just DQ'd. You got off track. I think he got that incident, and he's done.
Somehow, I don't think there's going to be a lot of tears shed for that DQ. Among the fans and the viewers and the drivers.
Now we can completely focus on the lead.
Absolutely. And we got just over 4 minutes of racing to go. And with apologies to the rest of the field for these final 4 minutes, we're going to focus on this as we see the pass made, or given, however you want to take it. Vanderbilt out in front, Burns behind.
And I'll tell for the rest of the audience out there and watching, the best battle in the field right now is between Hoffadezen and Joost Jonk. And I'll keep an eye on that while Sue keeps an eye on the lead here.
And what we'll do, when we follow the leaders across, we'll jump back and we'll follow that one, as they'll have probably about 10 or 15 seconds of racing before we actually get to them. Yeah, they are about 16 seconds back. So right now, with just under 4 minutes to go, this is Vanderbilt. Now he's coming across the line. This is where I get in trouble if I have to do a little bit of math and try to figure this out. Lap times of 1:40, and there's 3.5 minutes to go. I have no idea if this is the last 3 to go is what we're getting. Okay, that came from our director, who's much better. Even though this is the Global SimRacing Channel, I cannot do math.
We actually have a rule that Soup cannot do math.
It's been forbidden. All right, they continue to race. Nothing going up there. How about direct? Let's go ahead. Let's jump back in on Adam's battle. See if anything's going on back there. I'll watch up front. We'll give you a yell.
Yeah, you know, looking at Hoffade's in here, he just tried to make a little bit more of a move on Joost Junk and lost a little bit of time for him. But he is right there, and he's capable of running just as fast lap times as what Joost Junk is. And I think that's going to pick up. Hey, you know what? Something else that just heated up we can go up to here just a little bit. Battle for fourth between Bamber and Vincent Brem. If we want to go up just a little bit, see a little bit more action. Vincent Brem is looking for any way he can to get around Bambi.
Stay on that one. I can just report that Burns was able to get around Vanderbilt, but it was not contested. It was just a pass.
You might see those guys do that, and that's kind of how this pass just happened too. And sometimes in these Skip Barber cars, if you're new to watching these cars, that's sometimes the best thing you can do, because it helps maintain both the speed for both of you guys in order to try to take advantage of those long straights as much as you can.
Looks like that's settling down. Let's go back up to the lead. They come out of the final corner. We think that there is now, that they come across with 1:49 and laps are 1:42, so they'll get this and one more. Your leader right now, David Burns. Right behind him, a car length back, Johan Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt closing in now a half car length back as they go into Cascade. This is the left-hander. Now they're back on the throttle again. Johan either got a little squirrely back there or just taking a peek out through the sweeping left-hander, now down into Shell Oil's corner. This is a kind of a right-handing hairpin, 180 degrees. Come out of this, they're back on the gas again as they head into Knickerbrook. This is one of the best passing spots we've seen so far. Let's see, Adam. I think he wants it. I think Johan's going to take this spot. Or does he? Oh, he doesn't force the issue.
And I think it's a smart move for him, because he knows the next time by, that's going to be his best chance to get by him. And it might as well try to ride it out here for a little bit.
That was a test. I believe that was a test. Now, let's see what kind of defense you could play through here. This would be hard passing through this section. Adam, I think you called it. I think that was Johan Vanderbilt saying, I'm going to get you into 7, and then I'll play defense from there.
I still want to be in the lead, I think, here. You know, David Burns is going to have the better opportunity to maybe take a defensive line through there. And if he could force Johan Vanderbilt to maybe make that move, but maybe make it on the high side of the track, that's going to set him up a lot better for the second half of the track in order to maybe make another pass if he has to.
Okay, this is it, the final lap. Both drivers going really wide. Burns out in front, Vanderbilt about a car length back. We think we know where it's going to come. Vanderbilt staying close through Cascade. He does not want to make a mistake. We think it's going to come out of this sharp right-hander out of Shell. Vanderbilt dropping about 3 car lengths back. He's got to be careful not to lose too much ground. Gaining now. You'll see him close up under the accordion effect. Now he needs a good drive off of 5. He's about a car length back. Here we go. Does he make the move here? And what type of line does Burns take? Vanderbilt, a car length back. Half a car length back. He's there. Burns protecting the inside. Put on the reggae music. You're going to pass me. You're going to have to do it high. Vanderbilt says, I'll do it. I got the momentum. Not only does he get the pass done before, he gets it done before corner 7. Now he's got to play defense. Burns looking to find a way around. Vanderbilt making the car as wide as he can. They come into the right-hander. A great run. Vanderbilt misses the apex a little bit. That could cost him some time on exit. Burns behind. He's got to run. Is there enough time out of 11? A defensive line from Vanderbilt. That's going to cost him on corner exit out of 11. They are side by side. Look for Burns to have the momentum. I like the line, but he goes a little bit wide. Did he lose a little bit of drive off the corner? I think so. Here comes the finish line, and it's going to go to Vanderbilt. Back to P4. Oh, my goodness. This is Hofladezen. He comes out of the final corner.
Look at Hofladezen.
He got him.
He got both of them that lap.
Hofladezen. Young.
Yeah, I figured he'd get a top 10 out of it, but look at that. Get in a top 5. Great job, Mikhail.
What a run. 4th position for Hofladeson. My God.
Oh, not a bad battle here. Michelle Rugenbrink barely nicking Floris Bashar at the line here, too.
Bastian Hausman had to come in and take a splash of gas. That's what cost him that positions. Check in on Enzo Canta. He's out. He's going to get 17th. Did Cocky not get into the points? He's going to finish down in about 22nd. Woo! Our winner, the fan belt, Johan Vanderbilt. What we're going to do now is take a short break here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Don't go far. We'll have lots of great interviews, run down the finishing order, and then put a lock on the gate. Back in a few. Sanctioned by the Absolute Beginner League. Welcome back to the Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of Formula Neagle Round 6 from Oulton Park. Get the pronunciation of that name correct, man. Let's go ahead and run down our finishing order, talk to some of the drivers. Our winner, it was a close one by 1/10 of a second. Johan Vanderbilt over David Burns. Vincent Brim, a quiet 3rd place from him. Mikael Hofladeson, we documented that drive all race long for 26th to 4th. Good run from him. Buse Young, the newcomer, 5th position, rounding out the back half of your top 10. Neil Bamber, he led for a while. Mikael Rugenbrink, Floris Bashar, Hedrick Kamara, and Bastian Hausman, who had to come in for a splash at the end. Adam?
Yeah, Frederick Neptune bringing home 11th position. Of course, he had to carry the banner for Team Bushfink Pink here today. Fabian Youngbluth, Rob Adams coming home in 13th, Christian Nice 14th, Nico Roman 15th, Josh Brain in 16th position, Darren Kuhn in 17th. After running up front most of the race, Enzo Canta is going to come up short in 18th position. 19th position is going to be Oliver Elliott, Luca Furlick in 20th.
I get to announce some big names down here in these last guys. Blackjack, Tuan Tran, Double Duck Spot, Pierce Cocky. How about those names for 21st and 22nd? 23rd, Daryl Bland. Timo Vascalampi, your top rookie, way down in 24th. Edgar Sanchinelli behind him. Errol Num blows an engine. He doesn't know why. Never happened to him before. You heard him on the in-race interview. 26, no points from him. And the last 2 drivers did not start. Okay, we're going to let Adam talk to our race winner, and it is the fan belt, Johan Vanderbilt. Adam?
Yeah, Johan, what a fantastic drive out there today. Starting in 7th, able to get a good start, and then you just kind of picked away as everybody else had trouble. Ended up having a great battle with Burns there at the end.
I think it's April Fool's today, guys. I don't believe that I really won. This is this is insane.
It is real. You can pinch yourself and find out.
Man, yeah, 2 weeks ago I was so close, coming just short in Interlagos with Eero, and yeah, I took refunds today. I just had so much luck. Eero had problems. There was crashes in front at one point when I was just P7 and tried to just stay in the draft of everyone and don't lose too much time. And yeah, David and I were talking together on Discord, and we saw that there was heavily battling going on with Enzo, with Neil, and we didn't trust it that much. So we said, like, it's probably better if we pit together and maybe work a bit together to create a gap. And that worked in the end. When the rest went in, we had a gap of 8 seconds. And yeah, it was just an amazing battle with David at the end there.
You know, you took away my next question, because I was going to ask you to confirm what we thought about you and David Burns working together there and why you came in early. So I guess I'll just move on then. As far as the battle with Burns, you know, you guys really had that battle going not only just there at the end of the race, but the entire time you guys were working up through the field. And was there any tense moments that maybe we didn't catch on the broadcast?
No, not really. The most tense for both of us was that we were both very short on fuel. In our fuel app, we had 0.1 liters excess of fuel at the end of the race. So we were just over the edge to be almost out of fuel. So that's why some laps I had to stay behind a lot, and some laps David had to stay behind a lot. So it was not that there were hairy moments that we almost knocked each other out. It was more that we were almost out of fuel. And yeah, the really hairy moments came in that last lap when we battled each other very hard.
Well, one more question for you here real quick, Johan. We go to Mount Panorama. Bathurst is next. Of course, another track where people famously have problems. Are you going to try to take advantage of the same strategy there?
No, because I suck at Bathurst. I always crash out there, so I don't think that's going to happen there. But man, this is my first win in the series in over a year, so I'm ecstatic. Happy Easter. This couldn't be a better weekend like this.
Well, happy Easter to you too, Johan, and go try to enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you here in 2 weeks.
Will do. See you guys soon.
Johan van der Velde, your winner. Let's go ahead and bring in David Burns. David, we talked to Johan, so we got the information that you were short on fuel and you guys were decided to come in early to make that pit stop. That was smart. Before we talk about the last lap, let's go ahead and talk about what it's like when you're racing with those guys and you see a name in there you're not familiar with. Do you guys start to say, worry a little bit, and maybe I don't want to be part of this?
Well, yeah, it's exactly what I was saying before the race suit, because I know Enzo's quite a big racer in the 2K. And I was asking the guys, what's he like? And the general impression was not sure, could be a little aggressive. So that was why we got out of there fast.
Let's go right to the last lap, or the last couple laps. We know you were short on fuel. We saw Johan make a move on the penultimate lap, kind of ducked his nose on the inside. Looked like you were going to let him have it. But the last lap, you said, no way, I'm guarding the inside down into Knickerbrook.
Yeah, I probably could have taken a little more speed into that corner, but I had the fear of just taking us both out, and I thought, no, that's just not right. So I backed out a little in the hope I could get him possibly in the next couple of corners and then the last corner, but no, he just held on too well. It was a really good battle, though.
Thought there might have been a run out of the last corner, but if that start-finish line was maybe a little farther down the straight, a little easier to get done.
It's the tilt on that corner, Soup, because as the car's rotating, it tilts you even further left. So if you're not on the apex, you just slide through it, and that's what happened.
Well, you came close. You put on a good show. It was fun to watch. We saw it the whole way. Good luck the rest of the way. Hey, a good day for two stupid dogs.
Yeah, that's exactly, because I was when Vincent said he was third, I went, how did you manage that? Where did you come from? I was a bit surprised. So yeah, great result all right.
All right, congratulations. 2 races ago. Good luck.
Cheers, guys.
David Burns, your second place finisher today. Let's go ahead and let Adam talk to the man we watched the whole race, and that is Mikhail Hoflades. The start of 26th, Adam. We followed him.
Yeah, we really did, Mikhail. We had our eye on you the entire way. We talked about your strategy the last couple of weeks, kind of starting in the back and letting things happen in front of you. And then I was kind of worried that there was no chaotic start, but you still picked your way through the field regardless. Tell us about the drive.
Qualifying was a disaster. This must have been the worst qualifying I have ever done, because I was really trying. I didn't set a single lap. So that's why I started so far back.
Oh, okay.
I was focusing on trying to get a good lap and be up there in the top 10. But it was no really chaos, but I picked a couple of cars each lap, and I got up, and I was talking to Johan and David also, and as soon as I heard they were pitting, I just went for it with them and hoped for the best with the fuel. I just managed because a couple of corners after the finish line, I started to stutter.
Okay, so you started to stutter a couple corners off the finish line, yet you were still able to pick off 2 guys in the last lap. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that last lap from start to finish there?
Oh, intense. I think my heart rate was like at 250 something. It was bouncing up and down like crazy. But yeah, basically I think Bamber and Jock just collided after the back straight, and I took full advantage of that. I don't really know what to say. I'm just really shook right now.
Well, let's hope it carries some momentum into Bathurst for you here in 2 weeks. It was great watching you today, Mikhail, and go enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, I will for sure. That was the best result I've ever had here.
Mikhail Hofladezen, your 4th place finisher. Our last interview today, we're going to get to talk to the man who led for a while, the Italian driver, Enzo Canta, until he ran out of incident points. Enzo, the incident.
Hi, guys. Well, this was not absolutely my best race in these last weeks and months. Hero was very, very fast. He did a very fast qualifying lap. And, well, let me tell you something about the incident that happened. The first time I tried to put my nose inside the corner with Tuan, that is my friend,
right?
And I was absolutely sure we could do the corner together. I think I was close enough to the curb, and that was a lag contact, because if you can look at the replay, we didn't touch. It was a lag. So I'm very sorry for him, and perhaps obviously it would be better to leave throttle and wait for another lap. But I would only to have fun with my friend. No, I didn't want to kill him at all. And then I was trying to keep Hero draft, but it was so difficult because his pace was a little bit faster than mine. I was finding the pace, and in the moment I was confident enough. I saw he blasted his engine, so I say thanks, and I go for the first. But too many mistakes. I was not able to maintain my pace. And when I was passed from, I don't know, remember the name of the driver who passed me for the second time, and he simply almost stopped in the corner. So I rear-ended him, but another time, if you can look at the replay at the speeds, regular speeds in that corner, he braked almost more than 20 kilometers an hour than normal. So I didn't expect at all that hard brake in that corner. I just braked before he started to brake in order to be sure to not to touch him. But he almost stopped in the corner, and then I couldn't do nothing to avoid the contact. Then I destroyed my front wing and I lost speed. And final time, another car loses traction in front of me, and another 4 per incident. So I was 19 per, and yeah, in the last laps I was tired. I did a very rookie mistake exiting the T1 corner, and well, race finished. But it was funny for me. But I think I hope you don't think I'm a killer. I'm a killer because for 2 times there was very borderline situations. I think I don't know if I could do something to avoid.
No, that's why we wanted to bring you in here. That's why these post-race interviews are important. I think you explained yourself really well. You're exciting to watch. We look forward to seeing you on wherever you decide to race on the Global SimRacing Channel. You're all over the place. So always great to see you in one of our broadcasts, man.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Enzo Canta, I think he did a good job of explaining what was going on there. I'm glad we had an opportunity to let him come in and talk to us. That'll do us here for this broadcast on this April Fool's Easter. We'd like to thank everybody at the Absolute Beginner League for organizing Formula Neagle and contracting with GSRC to broadcast us. Thanks to the companies, equipment, and software you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast. The original music that gives every GSRC broadcast that unique flavor and feel is thanks to Eric Eckelman and Casey Lalonde. See the screen to how to contact each of them. Adam?
Yeah, Formula Neagle is going to return in 2 weeks. If you didn't hear, it'll be on the 15th of April. We're going to Bathurst, Mount Panorama in Australia. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. Sliding across your screen now are some other upcoming broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down your calendar. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you can find it all at www.globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at /Global SimRacing Channel. And while you're here, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe by simply hitting the button on this YouTube channel.
Finally, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, that would be Adam Young, our director, Amjad Yaman, and our camera artist, Dougie Beard. I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. Actually, I'm going to an Easter brunch. Family saved me some of those little marshmallow bunnies. I'm on my way. Until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.